everyone, I'm back. I had a couple of requests on how I do my alcohol ink keychains. Here's an example, which I'm actually going to be working on today. I'm going to show you up close. This is only two different colors. One color on the top, one color on the bottom, and then it's blended in the middle. Now with this keychain, I do have white vinyl on the back to bring out the color of the front part. It's still kind of transparent, if you can see, for the front. I'm actually still going to do my alcohol ink on the back. It gives it a different look on the back of the white vinyl, and it's much brighter and bolder colors, and a lot of people actually really like it. So I'm going to show you how to do the alcohol ink on top of the white vinyl. Now I just have regular 651 glossy vinyl, which the alcohol ink will go on top of. And then we're going to seal it with epoxy mixed with a little bit of glitter, and that's how you get your glitter effect in that one. So let me tell you what you're going to need. You're going to need your acrylic keychain blank. You're going to need your alcohol inks. I have only used the Holtz alcohol ink. It's the Ranger brand. This particular color is Wild Plum, and I'm also using a tealish color called Mermaid. I'm going to be applying the ink with the Holtz dabber, so that's what this is. On the bottom it has, the dabber comes with a couple of these cotton applicator brushes, I guess you want to call it. I don't remember exactly what it's called on the box, but you can use it over if you are using the same colors. Once you use one of these pads and you go to apply more ink to it, it will reactivate the ink that is currently dried on there. So if you're not looking to use that same exact color, please grab a new one, because it will pull from the ink that's already on the pad. That's kind of how I got the middle effect here on one that I had just tried out, you know, for trial and error purposes. Alright, so there are a couple ways you can add your ink to your blank. You can dab it with the applicator or dabber, whatever you want to call it, or you can apply it right to the blank itself. For this effect, I am actually just going to use the applicator, and let's get started. So I'm going to start with the teal or the mermaid color, and I'm just going to apply 1 or 2 drops. That's all you really need. You can always apply more. And I just want to verify what side. I'm trying to line it up as much as I can with the other side. So I'm just going to do a dabbing motion. And hopefully you can see that. Now once you go over top of certain areas like here, it's kind of like bigger blotches of it, I guess. You can go over top with more ink, and it will give you that kind of spotted water effect, which I like that for this one. That's why I use the applicator. So I like how that is applied. So now I'm going to apply the purple. or actually it's really pink, so I'm going to apply the pink. So I'm going to make sure I use my pink side that I already have, and I'm just going to apply 1 or 2 drops. Sometimes you might need 3, but I'm going to start out with just 2 little drops in that area. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to dab it. You see how it just falls right on there. Now, in order to get some of these splatter marks or the way it's marked there, I kind of like take the edge of it and I press down a little bit in certain spots that have already been inked. That way it kind of gives that effect. Alright, so the middle right now is still a little bit white. You can see where the pink color merged with the teal. But I'm going to make sure I use the side that I already had mixed with that. So I'm just going to add a small amount of the, actually it was this side, sorry, of the teal, and then I'm going to add a small amount of the pink. And then I'm going to go at the center. And you see how it kind of like pulls the 2 colors together. I'm gonna come across here. I'm just going to add a little bit more pink. There's just a couple of tiny small holes where you can still see the white. I'm just going to add a little dot of the ink. And I'm just going to go back over, press down. And just get over. And there you have it. So we have just added alcohol ink to our keychain here. I'm trying to get a good, trying to get some good lighting on it. It's a little bit darker in the video than in person, but it's super pretty and it matches with the other side. So it's a lot, it has a lot of bolder color on the side with the white vinyl on it. Then on this side's brighter, and of course because it was applied onto the clear blank with no vinyl or anything, it's got the translucent feel to it. So there we have it. So now I'm going to just take my epoxy that I already have mixed, and it's already mixed with the glitter that I had added to it. And let me put my gloves on here and we will go ahead and get on adding the epoxy and sealing it. So if you want to, you can wait until the alcohol is completely dry. You can wait half an hour or so. I've let it sit for a little while to let it dry, but I've also applied epoxy directly onto it and did not have any issues, so that's what I'm going to do. So here I already have my epoxy mixed, and I just have it added with some white glitter because, I mean, it doesn't really have much of a color, so it just gives it this sparkle to it. And I'm going to use my paintbrush to apply it once I drizzle some of it on the blank. Alright, so I'm just going to pull it from the center and make sure I touch the edges to make sure the edges are sealed. I'm going to carefully go around the keyhole. And once you add the epoxy to it also, it kind of like brightens it up just a little bit more. So I'm also being careful not to really touch the blank itself. I'm kind of just like hovering over, pulling the epoxy. If you do touch the ink, it will kind of start to smudge and get like little lines in it because it's the epoxy's reactivating it and making it wet, so it will start to pull the color up if you really touch it. I'm not sure if that happens with everyone, but it certainly happens with me, so I've learned my lesson. And I'm just going to add... Oh. I spilled some, oh no. Alright, so you can see I kind of spilled some, so I'm just going to lift it up and wipe off the bottom side because I already epoxied that side and I don't want it to be messed up. So if you catch it, you can just easily take a baby wipe or a paper towel with a little bit of rubbing alcohol on it to get rid of the epoxy. Alright. So I'm just going to leave that alone. I don't want to mess that up anymore. Okay, and I'm going to show you, so that one's pretty much done. I'm going to show you one that was already finished and does not have any of the backings on it or vinyl. It's completely translucent. So you can see the ink. I tried to do a swirl. So this one I didn't actually add directly to the acrylic itself. And this one I applied epoxy to it and then dripped a couple of drops of the ink in there and then took a toothpick or something and swirled it around just to see what it would do. And you can kind of see I swirled this one a little too much, but that's how you figure out how things will look. And then the epoxy also had glitter in it as well, so that's that. So the swirls are kind of harder to see, but you can do it that way too. This side doesn't have the epoxy. And there you go. So very translucent still, unless you mix a lot of the color into the epoxy, and you can just color your acrylics that way as well. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.